Hello everybody, Anita here, and welcome to Topic Tuesday. This week I wanted to talk about Jim's fundraiser that I've started on You Caring. I think it's really important that I explain the importance of this fundraiser and the urgency of it as well. Basically, he needs to get airfare back to the United States for several reasons, and a lot of you have already heard this before, but I'm just reiterating it for anyone that hasn't heard the story or knows what's really going on. One of the reasons he needs to go back is because he needs to see his doctors. He is an amputee, and he is in dire need of a replacement of a new leg. The last one that he got was before we moved here back in 2011, and he should be getting new ones every year. And I wanted to show you, I asked him if I could borrow his leg so that I could show you just why he needs a new one. I think you can see right here, and I'm afraid to really, do much with this because I don't want it to break any more than it already is. As you can see, it's coming apart, and he desperately needs a new one, because if this breaks and comes apart anymore, he's not going to be able to walk on it, and he needs a new one very, very badly. And he doesn't have any of the actual socks that are used for prosthetic legs like this. So he's just basically using regular socks that are not proper for this. I mean, and we go through this really fast because considering they're not made for this type of thing, and they're just regular socks that get stretched out to be worn, they get holes in them really fast, and so it's really hard to keep him from going through them really quickly. So he needs to get the proper socks that are used for this. And all of these things are things that he can get through his doctor that he's already gone to many times back in Colorado. Because this was a work accident, and so fortunately, since it was a work accident, they are required to replace all of these things for him. But they are not going to be responsible for paying for him to go back to the United States to get anything done. And he does have to be seen by the doctor because he needs to be refitted, because our bodies change all the time, and so he's not able to just call him up and say, hey, can you send me a new leg? He has to get seen, refitted, reevaluated, all kinds of different things have to go on. So it really is very important for him to try to get back there as soon as possible, because this thing is not going to hold up much longer like this. And another reason he's going back is because he needs to go to work. We've just been struggling here for way too long, and it's just been getting to a point to where something has to be done. We've got to get more income coming in. And so what he wants to do is to go back there, take care of his doctor stuff right away, and go back to his old job, which he intends to work at for probably the next 2 years, because he wants to be able to save up as much of that money that he's earning as he possibly can to have for when he comes back here. And then, from there, figure out, what we're going to do, if we're staying here, if we're going back, or whatever we're going to be doing. But it's really the only way that we've been able to figure out how to get some more income coming in. He does his watches, he does the rebuilds and the repairs on the watches, and he sells a few things here and there on eBay, but unfortunately it's just not enough, and we're having such a hard time that it just really is very important that he gets back. And the reason why we'd like to have this fundraiser and get these funds, if we can possibly get help for it right away, is not only because of the urgency with his leg, but his driver's license expires in February. That's when his birthday is. And so he would like to try to plan to go back in February if at all possible. And that means that, however long this fundraiser takes to, go anywhere and hopefully, raise the money for the plane ticket, airfare prices go up all the time. And so what we've got the fundraiser at is $1,500, and that's basing it on airfare right now, if we were to purchase a ticket now. So even the $1,500 may not be enough come February if it takes us that long to raise the funds, because we don't know what the ticket prices will be. But anyway, I just wanted to reiterate, and I know I've done this, I've already talked about this recently for Topic Tuesday, but I really wanted to express the importance of it and to show you his legs so that you can understand with a visual as to the importance of that issue as well, because it really is important. And I mean, he wanted to go and try to get something done with possibly getting Social Security disability, but that's such a long process. And I mean, he applied for it once before a long time ago, was rejected, and they told him you can't work for an entire year, which he hasn't, because he's been here. So he hasn't, got an actual job that he works or anything. But it's just a big process, and he has to be in the States. Even if he were to do that, he needs to be there to go to appointments or court dates or whatever they do, through that process of the Social Security thing. So anyway, he's looked into all of that, believe me, because I know a lot of people have been suggesting it, and he's looked into it. He's researched it. He's done a lot of stuff about that. But it's just not been possible to do what needs to be done with him here. And so that's another possibility. When he goes back, he can go and try and talk to these people, see what happens with that. Maybe if he goes back and talks to them and can say, look, I've been, I haven't worked, and, maybe they'll qualify him if he doesn't start that job. But that's the only thing. If he goes back to work there, that's going to nullify that whole being out of work for a year thing. So it's kind of an up in the air thing with that, but it's very important that he gets back to try to take care of whatever he can take care of, especially going to the doctor, getting his driver's license renewed, and hopefully maybe starting something with the Social Security disability process and whatever other options he may have. But he'll have to look into that, and it'll be a lot easier to look into that and see what he can do once he's there. And, if it looks like that's not going to work out, then he does have the option of going to work at his previous job, because he was at that company for a really long time. And so he should be able to go back to work there, which he plans on talking to them prior to actually leaving here. He's not going to just go there and say, hey, have you got a job? I mean, he's going to find out ahead of time, if there is a job available. But it's a tow truck company, and so he's pretty certain that there's always work, and especially because he was a really good employee for them and was really good at his job, so he shouldn't have any trouble. And he stays in contact with all those people that he worked with and everything. So anyway, but that's what I wanted to talk about this week, because I didn't have another topic. And since I did just put this fundraiser out there, I've gotten a couple of donations, which I'm very thankful for. Thank you very much. And a lot of people have been sharing it. I was really shocked at how many shares there have been, and wow. So thank you to any of you watching that have been sharing that fundraiser. It's amazing. I'm very, very, very happy about that. But please keep sharing, because you just never know. And I realize this is the holiday season, and right now is not necessarily the greatest time to try to ask for help with things like this. But at the same time, it's the giving season, and so I'm hoping that maybe there will be some people that have a giving heart and won't mind donating, even if it's just $1 or $5, you know, whatever. It all adds up. I mean, every single penny is very much appreciated. So whatever you can do, whether it's sharing it, whether it's donating $1 or $2 or whatever you can help with, it is all appreciated. Okay, so thank you everybody for helping as much as you can, and we appreciate it very, very much. And I will continuously do any updates that I can up on the fundraiser site, and I am adding the link to the fundraiser in the description on this video. So if you'd like to check that fundraiser out, the link will be there. So as usual, thank you all very, very much. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate that very much. Please give this video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to help support the channel, which helps us with many things around here, here's how you can do that. So thank you everybody. Have a good one, and we will see y'all later. Bye.